Welcome to Academy Live. Before we get too far into our broadcast, can we please get a check of our audio and make sure our question box is functioning properly? Someone just want to type hi or hello into our question box. We'll make sure everything's working. Good, we have confirmation. Please feel free during this broadcast to enter any questions that you might have. We will be stopping periodically through the broadcast to answer some questions. And if we are not able to get to answer all of the questions, we will do a follow-up and make sure that all of your concerns are addressed. Again, welcome to Academy Live. I am Larry Miller, Senior Manager of Technical Training for Trucks Academy. I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time and joining our broadcast. Our broadcast today is part of a continuing support of the Unlocking Uptime 22 project. Today, our focus is going to remain on the exhaust aftertreatment system, or EAT system. With me today, we have Will Cheek.
Thank you, Larry.
Will is the Senior Aftermarket Reliability Engineer. Next table over, we have Drew Beck.
Thank you, Larry.
Aftermarket Reliability Engineer. And we also have Rad Torres, Warranty Program Manager.
Hello, thank you, Larry.
It's good to have everyone here together today for our broadcast. So as I mentioned, this is part of an ongoing series to support Unlocking Uptime. Could we possibly have an overview of what all this project started from, how it evolved, and how we got to the point that we're at today?
Certainly, Larry. I'd be happy to talk to that. So the Unlocking Uptime project is focused around creating and promoting more uptime for our customers. As you guys know, uptime is one of the most important factors in the trucking industry as a whole, is keeping the truck up and running. And it's something we are promoting from a manufacturer standpoint very heavily. So this project is really done from the technician's perspective, which is a really cool and unique project for that, to be from their mindset. But it's looking at from a technician's perspective of how do we unlock or create more uptime for our customers. So we did this by using a lot of the data we have available to us from either the warranty or telematic information, as well as, the information we get fed from each of your different dealerships and service locations. And we created our top downtime repairs. And that is a list of components that are components that get replaced when a truck is held down for the longest amount of time. So, Larry, as you probably remember, I know you were a part of it. We did the CCA first. That was done last year, and we promoted a lot of the diagnostics around how to diagnose the CCA, optimized best practices. There was a CBR solution for this as well. And this time, as we took a big step in looking at our top 20 downtime items, we're going to be covering the exhaust aftertreatment system. If you'll pull the slide up on the screen, as we really started looking through the data, trying to decide what components to do and how to group them together, we realized that this group of components, these 8 different components, are a part of the exhaust aftertreatment system. And they really needed to be looked at and done in a holistic manner because they have a lot of different effects on each other. So it took a little bit longer than we would have liked to come back out to follow up with improving the diagnostics, but with the complexity of 8 different components, we have pulled this together, and that's kind of what we're talking about and here focusing on today, Larry.
Thanks, Will. So this project also involved a number of different teams. We have people here from warranty, from Uptime. We were also involved with the engineering team. So I imagine that we needed to start gathering data and compiling all this information. Is it safe to say that we probably started off with warranty because, warranty drives so much of our business? So Rad, could you tell us how the warranty department was involved in this project?
Absolutely, Larry. And what I would like to do is kind of bring the audience into the world of warranty data and kind of dig into that a little bit. And so that way you guys are familiar with the way that we are using our warranty claims. The first piece that we did was we identified all the different part numbers that are related to the components that Will mentioned in the opening, which we all know how many part numbers are out there. We assembled all of those part numbers. From there, we went into the warranty claims and we pulled in telematics information and matched that telematics information to our repair date, which majority of you guys know the repair date as our RO open date. So what we wanted to see there was kind of see what type of fault codes were there at the time of repair. From there, we relied heavily on our claim text, the text information that we have out there, which, customer complaint, extremely important to us to know what they were experiencing when one of those components failed. From there, it was how was the failure diagnosed from the technician's perspective? What did you do to get down to that root cause? And also, what type of failure modes are you seeing out there? Those are all three pieces that are extremely important to us, and we were able to glean that type of information from the claim data. Next, moving on down the line was some of the variation that we saw across the board, which kind of piqued our interest. And as we know, whenever we see variation, we want to try to reduce that variation, and that's kind of one of the goals that we had there. And the last piece, last but not least, was those comeback repairs that we kind of identify with the warranty claim data. And I know that we all strive to fix it right the first time, but we know it's not a perfect world out there. But what we want to do is be part of that solution and make sure that we are publishing information out there that is consistent and it's going to get you to fix it right the first time. So from the warranty claim data perspective, that's how the data was assembled. We published a dashboard, and everybody on the team had access to that dashboard, which kind of gave us a good starting point to continue with this project. But we didn't stop there, and now I kind of want to pass it over to Drew. And Drew, maybe you could share some of those other information sources that we were looking at as we were continuing with this project.
Sure. Thank you, Rad. So from a reliability standpoint, we compiled data from e-service cases. We went to local dealers. We talked to master techs and what kind of issues are you guys having? What kind of trouble codes are you seeing? What could we do better to make it easier and faster for you to diagnose these issues? So that's what we've done with this. And I'm going to ask Will to share the published content that we have.
Yeah, so as the project was gathering all this information, we started with the warranty data, paired it up with our telematics information to really dive into what were the issues, what data, what information did we have on it. As Drew pointed out, we went and visited dealerships. We visited and talked to many of the master techs probably on this call today to understand what they were doing, their best practices in diagnosing it. And then we reached internal to our own team. So our AMT organization, our diagnostic engineers, we engaged them, and we started reviewing what were the best practices and started developing some ideas, some different steps that we would like for people to follow as we start looking at optimizing these solutions, and then sharing this information across the industry in some different ways that we could do that. So one thing that was very important to us is that it wasn't just another piece of information that we provided to technicians, but that it was all inclusive. So we reviewed all of the CBRs or service information that was applicable. So from CBR solutions to the FSBs and TSBs that are released specific to these components to the population of trucks we were looking at, as well as recalls or any service campaigns that could be associated with it. And then, we engaged and talked with our friends who are over Premium Tech Tool and the diagnostic portions of those systems. So we could really get a holistic view of what was going on from, again, the technician's perspective, all while keeping in mind that we wanted to promote uptime of our end customers and of your end customers that are on the call. So I'll point you back to, our slide where we talk about the components involved. The very bottom of that slide talks about our mission, right? The mission of this project was to close the gap between our warranty data, our field experience, and our diagnostics so that we could put together, an all-inclusive piece of information that would assist our technicians in diagnosing these trucks, Larry.
Thanks, Will. So just to give a short summary here, the teams all work together. We found out, the big top items to concentrate on. Then the team went to work out in the field. And the key point is, we've established proven diagnostic procedures for these main issues. Again, I can't explain enough how much work and involvement has been into this project. Then our next challenge was, how are we going to deliver this to all of our technicians and to everyone across the network? So we decided we were going to come up with some set deliverables that we could share, put in different locations. Again, we tried to cover as much area as we possibly could. So I'd like to start talking a little bit more about what those specific deliverables were.
Exactly, Larry. And we already mentioned we wanted to provide a solution that was all-inclusive, right, of these proven repair procedures or these diagnostics to be performed. So we started building what we call troubleshooting guides. And this is a document that technicians can follow that will walk them through the component overview of what the component you're looking at is. It walks you through the diagnostic steps and procedures, whether we list out the DTC codes, and then we all the way through the life cycle of a service event. At the very end, we talk about the warranty aspects of it, the rules for replacement, how to know if you're replacing the component is the right component. A big thing we strive for is, fix it right the first time. As Rad already pointed out, a comeback truck is not good for our dealerships. It's not good for us, and certainly not good for our customers as well. So, Drew, can you talk to us a little bit about how we developed what a technician needs and what we put into these troubleshooting guides?
Sure, Will. If you would you pull up a document?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. So if you share my screen, I've gone to our CBR application. This is where the troubleshooting guides are published. I'm going to go to Browse Solution, but if you are working on a specific truck, we do recommend opening up a diagnostic session. But I'll go to Browse Solution, and which solution
Let's look
would
at
you
the
like to pull up?
UQLS sensor first. How about that?
UQLS, most certainly. So UQLS or depth level sensor. I
Absolutely.
understand, has
As we
two
open
components.
these up, if you see at the top, we have our U.S. emissions levels at the top, what it applies to. We have our overview, and it is a description of what the sensor is, how it functions, and how it lives within the system. Also, we have a primary failure mode with each one of these, with each component. And then we have diagnostics and repair, doing a DTC readout and reviewing the codes. With that, we have tables associated with that. In this one, for instance, we have a yellow and a green table. If you have DTCs within the green table, the sensor is likely not the fault. And we want to go through PTT guided diagnostics to try to find the root cause. But for instance, if you have a code in the yellow table, then we ask you to follow the diagnostic steps below, and we give a list of the diagnostic steps. Within all of this, we also list out TSBs within Impact to help you diagnose, to help you fix issues you may find along the way. As Will said, this is all inclusive. And then at the bottom, we also have a how to evaluate. So after you run your test, you want to do an evaluation to make sure you've actually fixed the issue. We explain that in here as well. And then at the very bottom, we have rules for replacement. We have our warranty coverage, and then we have our standard repair time.
Excellent. Thank you, Drew. So each of the components that we are covering today, these 8 different components, all have their own troubleshooting guide. And so as you can see, a technician can literally open up this document and follow it step by step through the process as they go through, and it's going to give them the applicable information. Something important, I think, to note, and Drew mentioned it, but I'll say it again, is we didn't duplicate information, but if there is a TSB applicable to the situation, we simply point the technician or you guys to the actual TSB and impact to go look at it. Or if there's a test or procedure that needs to be performed in Premium Tech Tool, we call out that procedure. So a technician can really use these as a step-by-step guide walking through each of them. What do you say we look at one more, Drew?
Yeah, Will, let's look at a PM sensor.
All right. So as I am searching here in CBR, you guys know CBR has a great search engine. So I searched by the component name because I knew what I was looking for. But you can also search fault codes, symptoms of the truck. All these will pull up these different solutions as well.
So again, in this one, we have a component overview, right? Of course, what the component is, what it does within the system. Also, the primary failure mode again. And then we also have, important notes about how to handle it. For this one, for instance, right, you want to handle it with extreme care. You do not want to put lube on the threads, or the tip. We also give, TSB information, if threads are messed up, how to repair that. So we have all that information inclusive in here. If you look at this one, it's a little different. We have a red table for this one. We also have a green. I'm going to talk about the three real quick. So there's three tables here. We have a yellow, a red, and a green. If you have any codes within a yellow table, that lets you know that you need to do further diagnostics in PTT. If you have a code in red, then it's suspect that the component is faulty and you can replace it. But any code in the green tables will correlate to further diagnostics is needed. It's not the component. So use PTT, guided diagnostics, try to find the root cause. And then again, rules for replacement, our warranty coverage, and our standard diagnostic time.
Thank you, Drew. And taking back to about the color codes, as this solution only has 2 different codes, so you can be pretty confident very quickly just with a DTC readout if the PM sensor is faulty and needs to be replaced or not. But red tables are, again, a green light. The component needs to be replaced. You can go ahead and replace it. Our yellow tables is further diagnostics. There's steps to perform, and each of the troubleshooting guides will give you those steps or point you the right direction. And then our green table is components or fault codes that are associated that might include the name of the component, but the actual failure is either up or downstream. And so we give you a probable source and point you a correct direction to go and use, again, Premium Tech Tools diagnostics to flow through them. But as the project developed these troubleshooting guides, we engaged our academy and we're showing them what we had created. We're excited about it and wanted to promote it. But we didn't want to just leave it here. And Larry, maybe you want to tell them a little bit about that conversation and how we got to short diagnostic videos?
Yeah, we wanted to find a solution that was easily consumed and something that we could put across a broad area so everyone would have easy access to it. The project team and the academy decided we were going to make short, maybe 3 to 5 minute videos that cover the key points and the key areas to focus on as you're facing these after treatment issues. Then we decided that we were going to put them in as many places as we possibly could. We posted them on our training support website for both brands. So if you go to mactrainingsupport.com or volvotrainingsupport.com, you will have access to these videos. And there's no requirements of going through Trucks Dealer Portal. Any device, cell phone, tablet, laptop that has internet access can go and view these videos. We wanted this for our technicians out in the field. Nowadays, just about everyone has a smartphone with internet access. So if they're in a tight spot, they can go and view these videos. We also took these videos and made them part of a Navigator course. For Mac, the course number that you're looking for is 500-908. And for Volvo, the course number is 500-920. We also took these links and working with Will's team, we embedded them in the CBR solutions. So as a technician is going through the solutions, right there's the link. You know, I need a better visual. I can't quite see what they're really talking about. So you'll have access to those videos through there as well.
That's exactly right, Larry. And really, to go a little more to the background of it, and you know, I know the conversation happened between Larry and myself as we started looking at how do technicians learn, right? How does this generation learn, or the up and coming generation at that, farther and promote education? And it really took the idea. You know, I realize I can't poll the audience and hear from every one of you, but, you know, you could think internally about this. How many of you have ever went to YouTube and started a search with how to, if you were at my house last week, it was, you know, how to fix a dishwasher. But there's all kinds of different stories of how to do it. And that was kind of the premise of what we wanted to apply here. You know, short videos are a way that we consume and retain information very well. And so we wanted to, again, promote this across our entire industry, across all of our technicians, so that they could consume this information in a very easily way, and made it available, as you mentioned, on every different device. So I'll drive you back to our goal as a project, if you can show it on the screen, is that every technician would be able to consume this information and that they would quickly be able to diagnose our top downtime items. So I'll drive back to, you know, as Rad pointed out with the data, that we already identified that these 8 different components make up approximately 40% of the trucks that are held down for an extended amount of time. So if every technician can consume the information we've put together and address these in a quickly and efficient manner and diagnose the components, just think about the amount of uptime that we can create for our customers, Larry.
Absolutely. Before we go any further in our broadcast, I'd like to check in and see if we have any questions and if we can answer a couple before we go into our next segment. So our first question, what emission levels does this apply to?
I'll grab that one, Larry. So currently these are for 2013 OBD to current model, current OBD levels. And note, in the CBRs, their emissions level is listed at the top. So you'll know exactly what it goes to.
Thanks, Drew. The next question, if I have watched the videos under the support website, will that reflect in my navigator? I can grab this one, guys. No. Through the website, we do not have the ability to track the specific person that viewed the videos. All we can see is a count of how many hits or how many views that video has actually gotten. But that was one of the other reasons that we decided that we wanted to put this in Navigator. You know, not only just to see how many people attended it and completed it, but if it's effective, we're going to get more views on it and more people will be enrolled and encouraged to take it as well.
Exactly, Larry. And if they complete the training in Navigator, it is recorded on that technician's training records. So if your organization would like to see this on your training records, it is available in Navigator to do so. And Larry, I think it's a great time we can show them the handout that's available for download in this webinar. So it should be on your screen. It is a downloadable PDF. But if you'll pull up on the screen for us, there it is. Thank you. This is really just a high-level overview of the components and information that we're sharing with you guys today. So as you see, we got the components tabs on the left, and then we give you the CBR solutions that are applicable, as well as the training videos, the labor codes, diagnostic time, as well as, you know, going to the warranty side of it, as where you can find the information in our warranty operations manual.
Thanks, Will. So we've talked about the overview of the project, how we work together to develop all of our diagnostic steps, what our deliverables were. So I think our last topic should be, what does this mean to my dealership? What does this mean to my technician? And how is all this stuff going to kind of tie together and help us reduce downtime and increase uptime? So Rad, would you mind starting off with warranty and what your role is?
Sure, Larry. From the warranty perspective, as I mentioned earlier, that claim text information that you guys are providing to us, it's extremely important. It's used across the board. UCHP is a payment transaction tool, as we all know it, but we need to go deeper than that. And we realize that majority of you guys are already doing the right thing, but let's just keep in mind that the information is used by plant personnel, quality personnel, sales. It's just used across the board. So we really have rely heavily on that information that we're getting on the claim text. I know that we have some new personnel, warranty writers, technicians on the line. So what I wanted to do was provide an example to you guys as to the type of information that we expect to see on a regular warranty claim. So if we could go to that example and we'll talk through that. On the complaint section of the claim, we want to know what the customer was experiencing. Maybe it was a stumble, a hesitation, a hard start, something along those lines. Maybe it's one of our favorites, blowing black smoke out of the tailpipe, something along those lines. But we want to know what the customer was experiencing. Any active, inactive DTCs, details about when the issue was happening. So was it hot that day, cold? Any particular RPMs, etc. So if you have that type of information, it's going to go on the complaint section of the claim. Moving on down, we're going to look at the cost section of the claim, and here we want to describe what caused the failure. Was it a stress fracture on a part, scoring on a liner caused by improper lubrication? From your perspective, how did you view it? Describe the failure, and also how did you identify that root cause? So moving on to the correction section of the claim, what was involved in making that repair? So specific parts that were removed and replaced. Maybe you had a wiring issue or a wiring repair, something along those lines. Location coding will go here. All of this information is located in section 4215 on the warranty manual, if you guys want to dig deeper into that. But at a very high level, that's the basic information that we expect to see on the claim text of a claim. The next topic that I wanted to touch on real quick was those tech tool sessions that we're opening up at the shop. We want to make sure that we are finishing those sessions, and here I have a screenshot just in case we have any new personnel and they're not extremely familiar of where that is located at. We want to make sure that we are slapping that button when we are done with a session. And when we do that, what this does is that it ensures that the information is uploaded onto Product History Viewer, which is a system that we rely heavily on. And I have an example here if you guys want to kind of walk with me step by step as to how we use it on the warranty side. So Product History Viewer, here it is. What we're going to do is we're going to enter a date. Once we enter a date that's probably around a month prior to the repair date that we have on the claim, we're going to enter a VIN, hit enter, and there we're going to click on that hyperlink that comes up. We're going to cross our fingers. Hopefully, we're finishing out those sessions and this hyperlink is there. So we're going to click on that hyperlink, and what we're doing is we're looking for that first DTC readout that is related to that repair. And from our side, we are looking to make sure that those DTCs are present on these components that we are focusing on. So that at a very high level, in regards to Product History Viewer from the warranty side, that's what we're looking for. And maybe Drew, from a technician's standpoint, you could kind of provide an example as to how it's used at a repair shop.
Sure, Rad. So, for example, product history viewer is great for a technician. If you have a truck that is a repeat offender, you can view DTCs from the previous technician. You can see all the tests and operations that he performed, any diagnostic sessions that he performed, and you can help better understand, what was this truck here before? Did he misdiagnose it? It's something else going on. So it's a great tool for that. Even for people in your shop, if a technician worked on it previously before you, same information.
One second. We just lost audio for a second.
Okay.
Can you back up and give that answer again?
Sure.
We're back now, but I just want to make sure everybody caught what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So product history viewer is a great tool for technicians. You can view a truck if it was previously repaired, if it's a comeback truck, repeat offender. You can see what the technician prior to you did, DTCs, any test or operation that he ran, any diagnostic sessions that he ran. You're able to view that, and you can see what he did previously to see if if it's a new issue or if it's something that he didn't diagnose and fix correctly. Will, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, specifically associated with the Unlocking Uptime project. So as we are using, as Rad was pointing out with our warranty data and how the claim is filed, right? So we're looking at the end of the life cycle of this service event. We are using that data from the quality perspective as well as driving new Unlocking Uptime projects in the future. So very important that you record you get the DTCs and the operations that you performed as a technician recorded. So one, as Brad pointed out, is to actually enter it in the claim templates, right? As you walk through and you enter the information. But the second part of it is we're also starting to use the data from Product History Viewer. So it's very important from a technician's perspective that you finish your work in PTT, that you close it up, and you get the good, clean DTC readout uploaded to Product History Viewer. You also close out your sessions after performing any other test or operations within PTT, and this will also be recorded to Product History Viewer. This gives our warranty personnel access to the information on the backside so we can validate and look at the claim. But as Drew pointed out, from a technician's perspective, you can use this information as well within your own shops just to make sure we're fixing the truck right the first time.
Thank you, Will. The last piece that I wanted to touch on was just to make sure that we are reviewing those CBR documents, make sure that we are reviewing those rules for replacement. All of these rules are going to go into effect on August 15th. So make sure that we familiarize ourselves with all this information that is out there. That's what I wanted to cover. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Rad. I see we've had some comments in the box when we lost audio for that brief period of time. I just want to reassure everyone that the recorded version of this is going to be posted in Truck Stealer Portal. After it's posted, we were also going to place this recording in Navigator as a Navigator course as well. So again, we had some comments come in how we lost audio and we missed bits and pieces. We have it covered. You'll be able to access this, after our broadcast. It'll probably be posted within a week. So again, that's one of the reasons we use this format, that we can record it and you can always refer back to it. So team, this is a lot of information, a lot of good stuff. So if we were to wrap things up and start winding things down, what are the main key points and the biggest takeaways from our broadcast today?
I'll be happy to cover that. Let me kind of go over some of the key takeaways. But before I jump into that, I just want to encourage our audience, if you have any questions, feel free to enter those in the question box. We'd love to answer all those that we can live here today. But if we don't answer them, we will follow up with you afterwards. So if you'll show the slide on the screen, the key takeaway is please follow the diagnostic material, these troubleshooting guides in CBR. As well as the short diagnostic videos, please use these, watch these as many times as is needed to help follow through the information, and share these with your colleagues and other technicians in the shop. Ensure your PTT sessions are uploaded to Central Systems, and really I should say Central Systems is also Product History Viewer. That's the system that you can go back and view it in. Far as the warranty side, use the claim writing example for future claim text. Make sure you're recording the information as efficiently as you can for us, providing as much detail as possible. And this is all going into effect with ROs, or repair orders, started August 15th and afterwards. So please make sure you're following these. And lastly, I'll point out that our troubleshooting guides in CBR, you can provide feedback to those. Our CBR application allows you to give, thumbs up or thumbs down at the end of each solution that you review. Or you can also put additional comments in the box. So if there's more information you would like to share with us about these troubleshooting guides, please enter in the information. We do take the time to read it, and we will respond to those as we go forward.
Thanks, Will. Let's get on some questions. We're getting questions rolling in a pretty regular basis. I thank everyone for being engaged and asking questions, and absolutely don't be shy about putting them in the question box. Next question we have: what if I have a component that needs to be replaced without a DTC present?
Larry, I'll grab that one. So for a DTC, for instance, in the green table, right, we tell you that it's not a sensor and that, it could be something else, upstream or down, or an electrical fault. If that's the case, we just insist that you install an e-service case and work with those guys to help you work through the issue.
Thank you. Next question. Are the Navigator curriculums for these videos part of a Master Tech certification? I can touch base on this. We did not put these in any particular training path, so they are not part of a certification. We wanted to make these available to everybody. I saw another question, a couple questions down. Is this going to be available to parts personnel? We're going to open this up to anybody with Navigator access. Next question is, will my fault codes reflect in Product History Viewer if I am using a JPro?
I can take that one, Larry. No, if you are not using Premium Tech Tool, the DTC readout will not be recorded in Product History Viewer. So can't stress that enough. It's important to do a clean DTC readout, as well as any of the operations we ask you to perform using Premium Tech Tool. This will upload it to Product History Viewer.
Thanks, Will. For our next question, first, they thank us for the claim examples that Brad provided. So thank you for the claim examples. Do we need to attach the fault code readout if we put the fault codes in the claim text of the warranty claims?
Good question, Larry. If we are making sure that we're following kind of the process that we've been covering today, making sure that we're opening those tech tool sessions, they're getting finished, all of that information is going to be uploaded to Product History Viewer. So if you guys are giving us that claim text, that fault code on the claim, there's no need to attach the DTC readouts, as they will be recorded on Product History Viewer, and it'll be stored there. So there's no need to attach readouts to all of these claims. So if you want to spot check your location and make sure that this is taking place, it's good practice, but no need to attach a readout on all claims.
Next question. When will the clean claim templates be available for review in the Warranty Operations Manual?
Sure, I'll take that one, Larry. The templates are going to be uploaded this afternoon. So as soon as we log off of here, they should be live and ready for you to view those. So it'll be uploaded today.
Thank you, Rad. I guess my next topic is what's next in our project.
I'll take that one, Larry. So the next components that the Unlocking Uptime team will be tackling and working through are going to be associated with the base engine, Larry. So you should expect to see that coming out first of the year.
Thank you. I'm just bear with me. I'm trying to field questions. Like I said, they're coming in at a pretty fast rate. Can you please go over the color coding one more time?
I'll take that one. Will, do you mind pulling up a CBR again?
I'll be happy to.
All right, so within these CBRs, we have three color codes. We have a yellow, a red, and a green. If your DTCs are in a yellow chart, then that means you need to follow the diagnostics provided in the documents. If you have codes in a red table, then the sensor is likely the fault, and you can replace the sensor. If you have it in a green code, then it's not the issue. Most of the time, it's not the component. It's something upstream, something downstream, or an electrical issue. You need to follow guided diagnostics and PTT to try to find the root cause.
Has there been any talk with placing the CBR number next to the excuse me, next to the diagnostic trouble codes shown within Premium Tech Tool?
I'll take that one. It is something we're evaluating and something we're currently looking at as we look at improving our diagnostic tools and services. However, our CBRs are not created for every DTC out there. Plus, if you have combinations of DTCs, it stacks the complexity of the components. So the best we can do at this time is to provide optimized solutions that walk you through it. You can take the specific DTC you're looking for and search it in PTT to pull up, in CBR to pull up the specific solutions associated with it. And we're looking at ways to improve that going in the future.
Thank you. Can you please show us a CBR for SCR diagnosing and failure?
Most certainly. I can pull that up. So this is the troubleshooting guide for the SCR muffler. Again, the video, this is embedded right here at the very beginning. So if a technician wanted to watch that just to get that 3 to 5 minute overview, they can do that at this point. But it does walk you through important information. Again, the component's job in the system, specifically for the SCR, it talks about looking at all of the upstream systems. So the SCR is one of the last components in the exhaust after treatment system. So therefore, everything upstream could have an effect on it. So it walks you through that. We identify the primary failure modes, either being the coating of the substrate being compromised or indigestion of foreign objects such as oil, coolants, fuel. These can damage the component, and those are generally the failure modes that we are seeing from the industry. But as it goes through, we have DTCs in the yellow table, so it says further diagnostics is needed. And as you scroll down to do a high-level overview, there's 2 systems that you need to check before you run the evaluation. The first is the DEF system, and you're checking it for quality and quantity to make sure it is operating properly. And then you will check the knock sensor condition. So you need to make sure the knock sensors are working on either side of the SCR to make sure you're getting a true readout. And then we give you the actual operation to run within PTT to actually evaluate the SCR itself. So this does change by OBD level. And so therefore we show you what it is and give you an explanation on the action column as it rolls through. And then it tells you to follow the results found in PTT.
Thanks, Will. Next question. What if we have to replace a component that has just been replaced on a visit to another dealership and PDH shows that it has just been replaced?
I can take it if you. So in that instance, we would just, require that you start an e-service case and work with those guys in that situation. Do not just throw another component at it. Make sure you do an e-service.
I'll piggyback on top of that one, Larry, and just take a second to point out these solutions and troubleshooting guides are designed to be correct with 90% of the population and 90% of the circumstances. So we do have a great tech support team that was a part of the project, and they are there to help assist with these other 10%. If something is not right, you do not have the DTCs or extreme circumstances like this where a component was just previously replaced, and it seems to be that it needs to be replaced again. So there could be something else being missed, and we have product specialists and our tech support agents that would be happy to assist in diagnosing those.
Okay, thank you. I think we pretty much fielded through most of the questions. I will go back in and make sure that we have them all answered. If not, we'll compile an answer to all the questions. So I'd like to conclude our Academy Live broadcast today. Again, thank you all for joining us. I look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast, and have a great day.